everyone. So we're going to try to cover as much as possible because your media exam is until chapter 2. Okay, so we've already studied quadratic equations, okay, before this, and we learned how to uh, complete the square, okay, and then after that we learned how to use the formula, and then after that we looked at the sum of the roots and the product of the roots lah. Okay, which is this one. So the sum of the roots over here and the product of the roots. So we looked at all these and all the example questions there are. Okay, so let's move on to question F. Okay, so F is find the range of values of x for the following quadratic inequalities. So the first thing we need to understand is that if an equation is given as such, ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, this is a quadratic equation. Okay, because the main thing over here is the equal sign. Okay, the equation. But if let's say you have a particular this one, because ax squared plus bx plus c, let's say is more than 0, or ax squared plus bx plus c is less than 0, or it can even be more or equal or less than equal. These kind of things are called quadratic inequalities. Okay, because the sign over here is not an equal sign. So this is the first main difference that we need to understand. Okay, so in order to find the range of values, I'm going to use the graph sketching method, okay, which is the main method that we want to use for this. Okay, I can teach you the number line method, but for now, okay, let's just focus on the graph sketching method lah. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is, if you take a look at this, the first step is when you get the inequality, make sure that on the right side is 0. Okay, as normal lah. Okay, it'll be always 0. And then the second step is to factorize to get the two roots. Okay, so in this case, when you factorize, you get x equals to 2 and x equals to -5. Then you place them on a line number. Okay, so since one number is 2 and the other number is -5, obviously 2 is more than 5 lah. So 2 is on the right and -5 is on the left. Okay, and then you draw a U shape. Okay, now one thing that needs to be mentioned now, in order for you to draw a U shape, okay, if the graph, okay, is to be like this shape, okay, a U-shaped graph, because it's a quadratic equation graph, okay, you must make sure that the A is more than 0. The A is a positive number, like in this case, okay, our A is 1, positive 1. So if as long as the A number in front here, okay, this number in front here is a positive number, then you can safely use the this method. Okay. Now, since we want more than 0, okay, since our inequality is more than 0, okay, we want to find which part of the graph is bigger than 0, which is above the 0. Okay, so this particular part over here, this is more than 0. Okay, if you are down here under the x-axis, okay, this one is less than 0. Okay, so when you have more than 0, then your answer will be less than -5, less than -5 and more than 2, which is this part lah. This part is all less than -5. And then this part will be all more than 2. Okay, so much so to say that, okay, let's summarize this lah. Let's say when you draw your graph, okay, once you draw your graph already, I'm going to call this number Q, and I'm going to call this number P. Okay, now if the situation, if your quadratic inequality is more than 0, okay, that's the one that we want. So if it is more than 0, you want to highlight this part and this part. Okay, so you want to like this. Okay, so the solution, okay, the solution for this will be x is bigger than q, okay, and x is smaller than p. because the one on the right side is bigger than Q, the one on the left side is smaller than P. This is the answer that you want. Okay, this is situation 1. Situation 1. Okay, let's give another situation. Situation 2 is the opposite. If your quadratic inequality is less than 0, kalau soalan dia bagi is less than 0. Okay, so when you draw the graph, okay, I'm still going to call this P, I'm going to call this Q. Less than 0 means it is below the x-axis. So we're talking about this part of the graph that is below the x-axis. Okay, now if this is the one that's happening, of course you want to, this is where you want to lakar lah. Okay, so if that happens, your solution, okay, the answer for this will be x is between P and Q. Okay, now this ini dibaca sebagai x is between P and Q. X di antara P dan Q. Okay, so in this kind of situation, in this kind of question, there are only two types of answers. It's either the pink color answer, okay, but you have to look at the quadratic inequality. Is it more than 0 or less than 0? If it is more than 0, this is the graph that you must draw and the part that you must shade, okay? And then after that, the solution is like that. But if it is less than 0, okay, this is the graph you must draw, and this is the part you must shade, and then this is the answer. The only thing that changes is the number P and the number Q. Okay, let's take a look at one example. So, x squared plus 11x plus 18 is more than 0. Okay, in your mind, you must set already. Number 1, is the number in front here a positive number? Yes, okay, if it is a positive number, then you're good to go. You know that you can draw this graph, and you know that the one that you want to shade, okay, yang kamu mau lakar is on this side, here and here. Sebab dia adalah more than 0. That's the first thing we want to know. Okay, likewise with number 2, also the same. Okay, first check. Is the number in front here a positive number? Yes. Okay, so we're good to go. Then you can draw this graph. Okay, now what is the inequality we have? It is less than 0. If it is less than 0, then you want to shade this side. Okay, ini yang saya mau shade. So now the question is, I want to find what is this number and what is this number, the number P and the number Q. So how do we do that? We factorize. Okay, so x squared plus 11x plus 18, when you factorize this, you will get x plus 2, okay, and x plus 9 is more than 0. Okay, so the roots are -2 and -9. Okay, macam biasalah. I mean, if this one was x plus 2, x plus 9 equals to 0 kan, you can get this kan, x equals to -2 and x equals to -9. So this is kind of a no-brainer lah. Okay, so now if it is -2 and -9, your job now is which number is on the left-hand side of this graph and which number is on the right-hand side. Okay, this is very easy logic. Okay, -9 is less, so -9 is sebelah kiri and -2 is on the right. Okay, so what is the range of values? Okay, the range of values is, okay, kalau kita punya graph macam ni, macam mana kita punya jawapan? Begini bahkan. Okay, x is more than Q and less than P. So, the range of values is x is bigger than -2, okay, and x is smaller than -9. Okay, and that will be your answer. Okay, it's pretty simple actually. Okay, it's not very difficult. Okay, first thing you know to do is draw the graph. Second thing is find the roots by factorization. And then thirdly, just remember the bentuk jawapan. Okay, if this is the graph, this is the answer. If this is graph, this is the answer. Let's take a look at this. X squared minus 8x plus 15. Okay, less than 0. Okay, so first of all, we have to factorize lah. So when you factorize, you'll get x minus 3 and x minus 5 less than 0. So what are my roots? Okay, my roots are 3 and 5. Okay. Then the next thing you do is to put the 3 and the 5 in lah. So 3 is on the left, 5 is here. Now, since the part that we want is less than 0, okay, let's take a look. Less than 0 is this kind of answer. X is in between the number on the left and the number on the right. So the range of values, okay, is, okay, X is in between 3 and 5. That's all I want. Okay, so these two examples are actually pretty enough already. Okay, just to show you what kind of this one that we want. Okay, but this one you have to remember lah. Okay, first of all, make sure that the number in front of the x squared is a positive number. Secondly, look at the inequality. Is it a more or less? Okay, if it is a more, then straight away draw the U graph and then shade the right and the left hand side. If it is less, shade the center. Okay, there are only two kinds okay guys, please don't answer tiba-tiba ada macam ni kan, lepas tu yang kamu mau shade kan di sini, apa ini? Tiada, there's nothing. Okay, there's only two parts only. It's either this side, okay, on the left hand and the right hand side, or right in the center below the x-axis. Okay, there are only two kinds of answers, so let's not make it any more complicated than it already is. Okay, then after that, once you find the region, find the roots. Once you find the roots, place the number in this one, and then tell me the range of values. Okay, and there are only two possible kinds of answers. Okay, so give this a try. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer for number 3 and number 4. Okay, but I want you to give it a try. So remember, okay, so okay, let's look at this first. Obviously, on the right hand side is not 0, not like this one. This one is 0, right? You can only do this if on the right hand side is 0. So let's first move the 28 across. So 3x squared minus 17x minus 28 is less than 0. Okay? Then from here, you can do the same thing already. Okay, I'm going to let you do this and try this on your own. I'm just going to give you the answer at the bottom here. The answer is x is in between, x is in between -4/3 and 7. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, go and figure it out and try to answer this on your own, okay? Okay, on the right-hand side, also the same. Oh, wow, look, even more complicated. Okay, so first thing that needs to happen is these two you have to multiply. Okay, so when you multiply, you will get x plus 7 minus 2x squared minus 14x. Okay, then I'm going to bring everything over here, okay, to the left. Minus 3 plus 6x is less than 0. Okay, now when you do this and you simplify this, you'll get minus 2x squared, okay, minus 7x plus 4, okay, is less than 0. Okay, but now our big problem is this. The number over here is not a positive number. Okay, now when this happens, you have to switch it. When you switch everything, all the signs change, including this sign also has to change. So what you're going to get, okay, is 2x squared, I change it to positive, negative 7x, change it to positive 7x, positive 4 becomes negative 4, and less becomes more than 0. Because the most important thing is that you want to draw this graph, okay, this must be a positive number. Okay, now since it is more than 0, okay, since this is more than 0, so obviously the one you want to shade is on this side and this side. Okay, but I'm just going to give you the answer. The answer is x is less than -4 and x is more than half. Okay, give this a try. Okay, and I will see you in the next video.